I turn, without further ado, to Florence Villemino, who's joined us on set, who's been reading the press. This is a review of the French newspapers. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Cyril.
Time to take a look at what's grabbing headlines here. Prime Minister Manuel Valls continues to be in the spotlight over an express round trip from Poitiers in France to Berlin in Germany to go and see the Champions League finals.
That's right. He's a big fan, of course, of Barcelona. That's never been a secret. Now
he has a passion for sports, he says.
Passion for sports, specifically football, though. Let's take a look at how the press is continuing to react. You can see here Le Parisien talking about Manuel Valls' mea culpa. Now, speaking to the press yesterday, he stopped short of saying that he'd made a mistake, but he did say if the situation came up again, he wouldn't do the same thing. What did he do? So he went to this game. That's not necessarily the problem. The problem is that he took a government jet to attend this game, and he brought his 2 kids along with him. This was for an estimated cost of 20,000 euros, of course, at the taxpayers' expense. Now, he has said that he is going to reimburse the government for his kids being on that plane for a total of 2,500 euros.
And papers are saying this episode has tarnished his reputation.
That's right. That's exactly what the business paper Les Echos is saying today. They're saying that Valls' public image is really ruined somewhat by this mistake, all the more so because it took him nearly a week to react to this scandal. L'Humanité, the communist paper, is equally critical of the prime minister, saying that he reacted way too late. And by agreeing to pay for his kids, he's, essentially admitting that this was indeed a private trip. Initially, he tried to say this was an official trip to meet up with Michel Platini to talk about the Euro 2016. Now, according to L'Humanité, he's hoping to put a fire out here, but at the same time, he's refusing to say that he made a mistake. And Le Figaro says that Valls should just have made an honest apology. He should have said, look, I made a mistake. It's not that big a deal. Instead, he's trying to tell everyone, look, yes, I'm responsible for this, but I'm not guilty.
I'll pay the money, but I made no mistake.
That's right. I didn't make a mistake. Le Figaro says this is not just the case for Manuel Valls. This goes for all politicians. It's time that they stopped talking in code, if you will, and just were honest about the fact that, yes, politicians can make mistakes sometimes.
Let's look at the far right now, the National Front, the Front National here in France. The party's calling on members to vote on whether to strip the founder, Jean-Marie Le Pen, of his status as honorary president.
That's right. This is part of a broader modernization of the National Front's internal regulation today. It's a major sticking point, though. You can read a lot about it in the press. This is Le Figaro's take on things. Says it's going to be a very painful moment for the party. Now, this comes, of course, in the wake of a very public blowout between Jean-Marie Le Pen, the founder of the party, and his daughter Marine Le Pen, the leader of the party. And it could get really ugly. If we take a look at another article in Libération, it points out that Jean-Marie Le Pen is going to court today to contest his suspension from the party. Now, that happened in the wake of that row. And so, according to Libération, the future of the party could actually be in the hands of judges.
And he says he wants all his privileges back. He wants his seat at the party meetings. He wants his credit card back as honorary president. Let's move on to Le Parisien, which is focusing on a growing trend to arm municipal police officers.
That's right. If we take a look at the front page of Le Parisien today, you can see here they're talking about la course à l'armement. They're talking about an arms race within the municipal police. Municipal police forces are increasingly tempted to equip police officers with guns because traditionally the municipal police here in France is unarmed. They'll have batons and tasers, etc., but they won't have guns. There are exceptions, though, and you read more about it in Le Parisien as well. Since the year 2000, a mayor can actually request to local authorities the right to arm their police officers, and statistically, 4 out of 10 police officers are actually armed. Now, there's always been a debate over whether or not to arm all municipal police officers, but this has really gained momentum in the wake of the Charlie Hebdo attacks back in January, because in one of those attacks, the attack on Montrouge, a municipal police officer, Clarissa Jean-Philippe, she was shot dead by one of the terrorists in that attack. And so a lot of people say that municipal police officers, just as national police officers, are really a target. In fact, that's a quote in one of these articles. An officer says, as soon as you wear a uniform in France, whether you're a national police officer or a municipal police officer, you end up being a target.
All right, Florence Villemino. Hold on, one more thing. The Interior Minister informed local authorities, also in the Parisien, that arms would be at their disposal if requested.
That's right. This is also in the wake of the Charlie Hebdo attacks. They're calling it the 4 4,000 revolver memo. What is this about? Well, it was sent around on May 29th, actually, by Bernard Cazeneuve, informing local authorities that these 4,000 revolvers are at their disposal if they're requested, only for a limited time, though, 5 years. Why is that? Well, it's because we're living in very exceptional times, according to the Interior Minister. But as I said, this has really sparked a debate here in France on whether or not to arm municipal police officers. Critics say that we shouldn't fall into some sort of paranoia with more armed cops on the streets. It's just not necessary, according to critics.
All right, the review of the French press with Florent Villemino. You'll be back with us in our future editions of Live from Paris with a review of the international press. Looking forward to that. Thank you very much.